spending the next 20 to 30 minutes. My goal for you is 100% clarity on what GRN is, why I believe it's superior to alternatives, and I'll show you some reasons why I believe that right now. But my point is this: I want you to listen real closely, because what I want to do is answer your specific questions. So if it can be anything on pay plan, product, this and that, or the other thing. But really quick, let me give you the backbone of how this whole thing happens. And I believe what I'm about to draw is the next big illustration for GRN. I've had a few crazy drawings in the past that have really made a lot of people a lot of money. And this is what I believe is going to be the next one. So you guys can be the judge. But this is what we're going to call a timeshare property. Okay? And the whole thing behind why GRN is, while other MLMs are collapsing or they just have paper fire growth, they make money quick and then they fade, is because at the end of the day, the product has to be very solid. I just got my hair cut. My hair cutter lady was like, here's the deal. I just had a hair transplant by the top guy in the world in Scottsdale. Okay, there's a little bit too much information for everybody. But here's what happened. She's like, wow, I mean, how much did that cost? And I'm like, oh, it was like $9K or something or whatever. And she's like, really? What do you do? And I'm like, I'm an online guy, whatever. And she said, I was in, and I'm going to, I don't care. I'm going to say the company. She said World Ventures. Now, this isn't ragging on World Ventures. I don't even care. I don't even know that much about it. But her big thing with World Ventures was, she said, it was big really fast, but then there's no way I'm going to keep paying that money over and over for that website. I think it's like $50 a month, and you get kind of like a Travelocity or Expedia website. You make commissions as people book through that engine. YTB was a similar concept, and California shut them down, and they got cracked down because there's really, at the end of the day, it's not legal to charge people for worthless things. I mean, it's not, if you say you can charge people for worthless things, but if there's a money-making opportunity attached to it, you just can't do that. It's not legal to do. So I'm not saying World Ventures falls under a pyramid or a scam, but that was her feeling on it. And the big difference there is our product has been around since 1986. Okay, and this timeshare resort property, which I have to now start over to draw this picture. Here's the big picture. This is how our product fuels the whole thing. So here's the palm tree. This is the water back here. We're going to do mountains over here. You've got your lanai over here. Okay, this is the property. There are basically people that grew up in timeshare properties. Now, you contrast that with a hotel over here. A hotel usually has a bed and a TV and a little shower area. This has full kitchens, so it has full kitchens, full tables, full living rooms, separate rooms. Some of them have different stories. And basically, there's a whole group of people that will only go on vacation and stay at a timeshare type property. And there's mainly three ways that people get there. The number one biggest way, $6 billion of sales last year, was in what we call retail timeshare sales. This is when they're at the resort, the person comes and tours, and they sell them a timeshare for $20,000 2 weeks a year. And they say, hey, it's cheaper than buying a vacation home. Plus, with the exchange program, you can stay at different timeshares. Maintenance fees are $500 to $800 a month or a year. And you've got kind of like a second vacation home, or you got a vacation home, and it's only 20 grand, not bad. That's the most pricey and most popular way to get to timeshare. That's the normal road. Now, the next road, which a lot of people are taking right now, is cheaper, and it's called the reseller road. Okay, and this is very important that you realize this, because the top affiliates in GRN, the ones that are going to continue to make the long-term money and have people that get it and stay with it and love it, are people that understand this. Resale is people who buy big over here, and then they go, oh man, so they put it on a resale market, and it's usually about 50% cheaper. So they're selling this same 2 weeks at this property for $10,000 instead of 20. Okay, there's the reseller market. Then there's a third way that's cheaper, but it's really the most inconvenient probably. That would be kind of the Expedia route. This is Expedia. It's getting a little cheaper here, but the kicker with Expedia and these kind of things is usually you're paying 15 to 2,500 bucks for a 1 week stay. 15 to 2,500 bucks for the same thing. So if you go every year, it'd be cheaper to do the resale thing. Right now, resale is absolutely booming. It's a huge market. Retail is still actually booming. Of course, most people know about Expedia. Now, the kicker though, so the big kicker is what GRN does is I don't even like to put any width to this. GRN is its own little animal. And what it allows you to do is get to the exact same property. See, we're all going to the exact same property here. And I'm going to demonstrate it in just 1 second. But for over here, for $3,000, one time, you have a lifetime of travel, and it can be back to this resort or a cornucopia of other resorts. And you're usually paying between $298 upwards of $799 per week maximum, but the average is usually about $550. So GRN for $3,000, it's just the skinniest, fastest little way to this same exact property. Now, when I get this on a fancy little chart, it's going to be really persuasive, and I'm excited about it. But let me prove it to you real quick. The Sheraton Vistana, okay? This is a resort in Orlando. It's big with the Disney. It's a mile from Disney. It's a Sheraton. Sheratons are classy. They're awesome. They've got the full spa, the health clubs. These things, the playgrounds, the pool areas, several different pools. You can look at the pictures in here. An example is this. You're going to have the full kitchen. You're going to have a little living room area, dining room area, bedrooms, these kind of things. This is the resale market. On retail, this is probably going to go for upwards of 20,000 bucks. So here we are on the resale market, and what you're looking at when you see usage type like even, this means 1 week every other year, 8,000 bucks plus. Guess what you get to do? Guess what you get to do on top of the 8,000 bucks? You get to pay probably for a Sheraton 800 bucks a year forever. Probably guaranteed increases to keep the resort modern in maintenance fees. So this is the Sheraton Vistana, or however you say it. Now you can hop into our little travel membership here, and this is exactly inside the travel membership. And if you look right here, what you're going to see is the Sheraton Vistana Resort. I mean, look at it. It's a Sheraton. This is obviously the master suite inside. There's 2 bedrooms, including the living room and all this stuff. It's the exact same property, folks, just like the little picture I drew. And you can see the beautiful thing of the maintenance fees, as you can see on this picture, this is granite countertop, leather chairs, oak-ish. I shouldn't say those are oak. I don't frickin' know what they are, but they're classy kitchens. They're upkeeped, and this is what people in the resale and the retail market pay. They pay yearly to keep modern the resorts. Now with GRN, we hop over to the Sheraton freaking Resort. Sheraton. It's a great resort, and we can go over there $689 for a 2-bedroom. That is cheaper than $100 a night for a 2-bedroom, classed out, a mile from Disney. It's perfect. It's beautiful. And what happens is in our membership, you're able to zoom over to this resort. Now, if you book this on Expedia, you guys can do this on your own time. If you were to look at Expedia for these exact same dates, what you'd find is it's probably in the 15 to 1800 for that exact same. Who would like me? Blink your hand if you want me to do it on the spot. I have not checked it. So I could be setting myself up right now, but okay, I've got enough to do it real quick, and so let's do it real quick. So Sheraton, here's all I do to compare resorts, people who own the GRN membership. I copy, I go up here, I find TripAdvisor, I paste, I Google it. TripAdvisor usually pops up, which is right here. It's got a 4-star rating out of over 1,100 reviews. Sheratons are awesome, so that's to be expected. I'm going over here. I'm going to check in the date, the exact same date, which was April 24th check-in. So let me get to April 24th check-in. Boom, 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 boom. April 24th, Sunday, check out. May 1st, adults, whatever. I'm only going to check. I'm not going to bother with all these. I'm just going to do Expedia and Travelocity because those are usually the cheapest, I've learned. Here we go. Survey says, remember it was 6 whatever it was with no tax. What we have for Expedia here is, scrolling down, $209 a night. That's not counting tax, my friends. I guarantee it. That's but that's only a 1-bedroom. Right here, this is what this would be the equivalent. That's $243 a night, 2-bedroom. And let's just click book now. By the time you pay taxes, you are at $1,903. And that's the cheap. Expedia is the cheapest, usually the cheapest option out there. So on just this one resort, you do the math, 66% savings or something with GRN. Clap for the GRN membership, everybody. This is like an infomercial where they chop up those vegetables so fast, and the people are out there freaking out, going, ooh, ah. Well, this really isn't staged. Okay, this is a case in point. Okay, this is an amazing thing. Now the difference between GRN and some of the competition is they do not have access to the resorts that we have, and let me explain why. This particular Sheraton is a member-to-member trade, meaning we have way over, and I was only allowed to say we have 65,000 members. That's the most I'm allowed to say, although I argued to say more, but they said, no, you only say 65. So out of 65,000 members, a lot of our members have condos, and it costs a lot of money to list them on websites like timesharesonly.com. Let's see what, by the way, let's see what these guys charged. Same thing, this is the 2-bedroom. And if you went through Web Travelocity, it would be roughly the same deal, $1,865. So there's a case in point. You cannot find deals like you even remotely close with GRN. But here's the thing. This is a member within GRN who, for free, if you have a timeshare, you can host it to promote it to all our affiliate base. And then what happens is it serves as a rental. So I've talked to owners who have 3 or 4 timeshares, and they consistently rent them out within our member-to-member rentings. The most you can charge with GRN in the USA, outside of Hawaii, is $699. So this member, even though he could go or she could go and post it for $1,500 or $2,000 or $2,000 on Craigslist or something, because the membership says if you're going to promote with us, you can only do $699. That's the contract we have with the resorts. That's why it's on here. That's how the deal works. Okay, so we have huge access. So there's been not just Sheratons. I have seen lots of Marriotts come on board. There are some amazing resorts that there's a community inside our travel product that is crucial. Now, I want to do questions on the product itself, especially for those of you who started raising your hand and you had questions. I'm not going to call you out unless you want me to. That's fine. But questions on the product in particular. There's many things about the product. In fact, Sharon Irwin, I'm going to call you out because you're kind of our up-and-coming retail queen here. And I just saw you out here. I'm going to unmute you, Sharon. I don't know if your speakers are set up or not. But Sharon, you out there?
I'm here, Mark. Can you hear me?
I can. Now, Sharon, you used the friends and family section of the membership, which everybody is right down here. This is another huge perk of the membership. But tell us really quick what you did it was your sister, or what was the deal?
Yeah, my sister called, and her and her husband are celebrating their 40th birthdays in December.
Okay.
and they wanted to go to Kauai.
Okay.
So I went into my membership,
Right.
and we looked for, they're leaving on the 28th of November,
Right.
and coming back on the 5th of December.
Right.
And we were able to get them into a Wyndham resort over in Kauai, which is absolutely phenomenal.
I love it.
For $649 for the week.
$649. Do you know, was it the Wyndham Valley Highs or which one was it? Do you know?
There's two over there,
Yeah.
and it's escaping me, but it's in Princeville, which
Yeah.
is one of the nicest resort areas on the island.
Yeah, I think I am almost positive that's the Wyndham Valley Highs, and if I knew how to spell Wyndham, is that how I spell Wyndham? Valley Highs?
Windham.
I don't know. Wyndham Valley
Yeah.
High. Wyndham Valley. Let's just type that in. See, what you can do if you're in GRN, this is a little tip anytime you're talking to a prospect who might even remotely have questions about our membership. You can take them over to timeshares.com, learn how to spell first, like I don't know how. But see.
That's a tricky one. I do that too.
Yeah, Wyndham. Okay, so now Wyndham. But the thing is, with Wyndham Valley Highs, if you were to buy that resort, because I know people who have purchased there, you are talking about like 20 grand retail, and it's just too much. It's just too much money, my friends. Here we go, Wyndham. No, neither of them are located there. But if, let's say, just the Wyndham in Kona. See what we get there. And this is right on Alehi Drive. I've been here. I've seen this one. Look at what these rates are going for. 17 G's for every other year. You're kidding. I mean, here's every other year at that resort, plus guaranteed maintenance fees of $500 to $1,000 a year. This is every other year for a 2-bedroom. You can go inside our membership and go to the Wyndham Kona all the time. It's in there all the freaking time. And these deals are just out of control. So you were able to hook. Now, how did that work, though, Sharon, when you hooked them up? Because I've never booked for somebody else. You went to the instant bookings, correct?
Correct.
And you just booked it, and then you just filled in their name instead? Or did you have to pay?
Yeah, I put in my sister's information and her credit card, and they sent me a confirmation email. They've called. It's first class service. I'm just amazed.
And our customer,
emails, instantly.
And our customer service, everybody, is Monday through Friday. Our travel provider. It's Monday through Friday till I think 5 p.m. Eastern. The big difference between some of our competition is they have access to something called a live feed. Okay, follow this, everybody. They have something called a live feed, which means they get like dumping inventory. So there's a steady stream of inventory, so you don't get to request specific resorts. Like, let's say you wanted to request, I want to go to Princeville in April. You get to put in a request to our travel provider. The travel provider then basically sends an alert to not just the resorts that we have contracts with, but the entire timeshare basis in Princeville, and says, we have ready buyers. You can't charge more than $699. Tell us what you got. See, that's what happened on an instant booking, is people know that we are a huge source of travel money for their resorts. So anyway, it puts an alert out to Princeville, and then offers come back. That's how that game works. Now, our competition, usually they're just dealing with whatever the live feed, it's junk inventory. It's not that it's bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've stayed through our live feed many times. But the point is, that's all they have. They don't have the option to request Big Sky, Montana, 3rd week of March. That's a huge difference. A lot of times these guys don't have customer service either. It's a blind exchange service. You pay a fee, you show up. It's very ill at ease kind of situations, whereas what Sharon's talking about, you can call the home office, you can talk with them. They walk you through. If you're nervous, whatever, it's all good. That's the big difference. So, Sharon, how's your retail adventures coming, by the way?
Absolutely amazing. I'm working on a brand new retail site online. I'll be driving traffic to. So I'm just buzzing with excitement, because this is the huge, huge opportunity, the $6 billion opportunity. And as you said, the people that see it and get on it are going to really leverage themselves and help a lot of other families do the same. So that's what I'm here for.
I love it. And you had your first couple $1,000 week the other, it was a few weeks ago now, but that's kind of fun.
It is. It is. I'm like, wow. That was so much fun, and it wasn't difficult.
Right. So, well, Sharon, we expect big things from you. Sharon, by the way, is in the running for the contest, everybody, so you might want to be paying attention to what happens on all that. But, okay, Sharon, I'm cashing out with you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay, we got a couple questions from people who are here as guests, and then let's get to it. Can you explain that resale aspect again? Not quite clear on that. Okay, really quick, the whole idea of the resale is this. People buy their 2 weeks at this resort, blah, 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 and they pay $20,000, but they're buying it at the resort with the margarita, and they've done the hour-and-a-half high-pressure cooker negotiation down to get 2 weeks. The resale market is when these people come home and realize they have the timeshare hangover going, oh my gosh, what did we do? We're bound to this thing now. We got it stuck with maintenance fees, blah, blah, blah. Or they just don't travel anymore or something happens. Then it goes on the resale market. The resale market is usually 50%. That's what timeshares only by timeshare.com is. It's 50% off. It's a bonanza. People love it. And that's where most people think the best deals are, because Expedia and Travelocity, they're just too much for one time. When you can pick up a resale timeshare for 5, 7, 8K, it's a way better deal. They just don't know we even exist to the same frickin' resort. That's, pardon my French, everybody, but that's the secret, and that's where the millions and millions are going to be made, is people just don't know we exist yet. And it's because we are driven. Here's the blessing and curse, and me is with some ownership in the company. Here's the curse. We don't do corporate marketing. Meaning, originally, the founder of GRN was not going to have affiliates spreading this message. He was going to personally take it upon himself to have national campaigns to spread this message. Then somebody said, no, you've got to allow affiliates to do it, because there's just some real benefits to it. They can make a bunch of money, you can change more lives, and the message can go more viral quicker, this and that and the other thing. So what it really is it's up to the affiliates to pump out the message. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a lot more strategic with our corporate endeavors to get that message out there and give you guys tools to do it. But at the end of the day, it's the Sharon Irwins of the world and you guys who are already in that are going to get a huge piece of the millions and millions that come ahead as we expose the resale option as an inferior, radically inferior to the GRN option. So hopefully that explained that. Chris, hopefully that worked and that explained. Now here's another question. Ken asked, with GRN, do you have to book in 7-day blocks, or can you book for like 3 or 4 days? There is such a thing as short holidays. We do have short holidays, but timeshare units are always 7 days. They're usually check-in Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and they're always 7-day cycles. Now, I've gone to Hawaii and I've gone to Mexico, and I've stayed for 5 days. But I paid $298. So a lot of times on these deals, you're only paying $450. So if you stay 3 days, it's still just a little over the 100 and some change a night. So the way I look at it is it's 7-day blocks mostly, and it's such a steal. Even if you stay 3 or 4 days, it doesn't really matter. But that's the answer. Timeshare is always 7-day blocks because people come in the weekends and they stay a weekend to a weekend. So that's another great question from someone who's looking to join. Here's another one. So do you not need a membership to get the rates? She booked for her family for her membership. Yes, she personally, let me make sure I answer this clear, Mary. She owns the membership, okay? Sharon purchased the membership. So Sharon has the platinum. Inside the platinum membership, there's the friends and family that she can book for her friends and family. Now, it's illegal to book things and then sell them, because some people have tried that, I guess. I never realized people would do that. But some people have gotten weeks and tried to sell them because they're so cheap to like third party. But you can book for somebody else. The name and stuff has to be there at the time of booking, that kind of stuff. But for friends and family, you can shell out vacations to them. It's not always the exact same system, and it's not the exact same database that the platinum member has, but it's still a pretty good database. In fact, it's the database that our competition uses as their primary, pretty much. Live feeds and these kind of things. Hopefully that makes sense. Mary, does that make sense? Hopefully. Okay. Joining, hey, Boston is with us. Awesome. Okay, does GRN offer travel packages for transportation such as airlines and cruises? There are some cruise and travel things, but we don't really promote them because profit deals on airlines, everybody, those days are 1980s. Those days are gone. I mean, the airlines are struggling just to make any kind of profit. So deals on air almost don't exist anywhere. So our search engine doesn't do anything more than Expedia will do for you in that regard. The cruises, there are some special cruises that come along, but as a GRN affiliate, we do not market the cruise aspect because it's a different kind of animal to get into the cruising. There's some different kind of legislation on cruises. That's why you don't see cruises on our corporate websites, and that's why we don't promote them on webinars like this. But I can say if you become a member inside, our travel provider does have cruise specials. Hopefully that answers that question. We're doing good. Okay, you guys lost me. Can you hear me yet? Am I back? Okay, shoot me a yes if you can hear me. Shoot me a yes. Can you hear me? Yep, okay, we lost. I guess I was lost. So, somebody just asked, can you book 2 or 3 consecutive weeks at any one place? There's some gray area here, everybody, and let me be really, I don't want to mislead anybody, but I also don't want to close the door on something I know to be true. A lot of times at these places, they've already agreed that they will pay, that you can pay, $525 to stay there. So what you do is you work with our travel provider and say, we want to be there 3 weeks straight. Can we triple that fee? We've had people, I've talked to people who in the comments when you're requesting, like it might be a 1 bedroom that you request, or that's all that's available to request, and they just say, we'd really like a 2 bedroom upgrade if possible, and then they get them for free. There's a lot of flexibility in the world. You don't know if you don't ask, but the answer is yes. Many people have stayed 2 or 3 weeks at one resort. One of our teammates, he sold it totally retail. The guy has no interest in making money. He paid $29.95. He didn't pay the $100 extra affiliate fee. But what happened was he loves Hawaii, and we have 41 resorts in Hawaii. So he bought it so he can spend a week here, a week here, a week at Princeville, and he's staying just a huge Hawaiian voyage. And pretty much with Hawaii, I can give you some examples right now of what's in our hot week, is if you go to our hot weeks, many times you can get 298 weeks in Hawaii, but other times you got to pay the full, $525 or whatever. But let me show you real quick what we got in Hawaii right now. If you were in the Hawaiian state of mind, you can go to Hawaii, and there's several different islands. I'm working on it, everybody. Give me a second. Okay, so here's the Wyndham Valley Highs, 2 bedrooms, $398 in Princeville. Okay, this is in December during the rain. The waterfalls are the most miraculous during December. It's unbelievable. Banyan Harbor, I've actually been there. That was my first ever use of this membership. 2 bedroom. It's actually a 2-story. It's a really, really cool place. Directly across from the ocean. $398. So here, technically, just look around. This is another Wyndham, and these are that we got a bunch of options in Hawaii right now. But anyway, the answer here's Shell Vacations. These guys are great too. This is another. I really like the Shell properties. I did a tour through this property, and it was, what was it? It was no, it wasn't this Shell. It was one on Kauai, but it was $20,000 for like 2 weeks a year. So the answer, yes, is you can book multiple times and stay at the same resort and things like that. Okay, let's see. How do I join? Okay, this is great. Mark, that question is the best question we've got yet. Okay, how do I join? And let me get to this. Hang on, we've got so many more here. Makes my Marriott timeshare look like a swear word that I cannot pronounce on air, although I do swear. Who am I kidding? And I still have, okay, this particular member who just joined GRN, he has a Marriott timeshare. He's paying $875 per year in maintenance fees, and he just said his Marriott timeshare looks like the SH word, as my kids would say, the SH word. So that being said, let's get to the money because people like money. So let's get to the money. But my point is, what I really want to reinforce right now is the reason for me, I just call it the 100% Clean Conscience Act. It should be a policy in our lives as best we can do it, where we do things that we have a 100% clean conscience. Okay? Just we have to have a 100% clean conscience. And so sometimes, I mean, I was like, if I'm going to have a beer with somebody and I might know that they're anti-alcohol, I'll ask them. I'll say, tomorrow morning, will you regret this or something if you're going to have a beer right now? Because if you are, I don't want to be a party of that. You got to have a 100% clean conscience in life. And for me, when you're marketing online, it can be a little bit challenging to find a product that you can market, not just with a clean conscience, but with an enthusiastic situation. Like with Sharon, when she was talking about booking for Hawaii and getting her retail site, I mean, it's not just like, yeah, I'm okay with this. It's, yeah, this is freaking great. And when you operate a business from this energy, that's where the money is. Okay? So here's what people just asked. How much does it cost to get going? It is $29.95 for the membership. Okay? The membership, by law, we cannot say you have to pay that. Okay? And we're just by law. But here's the thing. Just like Zig Ziglar said when he was selling pots, he bought a set of pots that he was selling that was very expensive because he wanted to believe in the product. Now, this product, being able to say, yes, I bought this. Yes, I bought it. I've used it, and I love it. You see, the reason Sharon's going to do well, she has her story. I just booked it for so-and-so, right? I just booked it for my sister or whatever because she bought the membership. So there's very few of us that'll work with somebody that doesn't buy the membership. It's just nature, of course. But $29.95 for the membership and then a $100 affiliate fee. That will get you positioned immediately to make money on your first sale. Your very first platinum sale, you make $500. Your next platinum sale, you make $1,000. From there on out, every sale you make across the board is $1,000. I have somewhere in the neighborhood, you know what, I should just check. It would take like 30 seconds to check. But I think I'm in the zone of 400 or 500 people that have personally joined with me. So I make $1,000 every time. But here's the best part. Okay, let's just get in this pay plan real quick. So there's you. Okay, there's Johnny who brought you in, and there's Sue. Anybody feeling like they're at an Amway thing yet? Here we go. You do your first sale. Now I'm going layers up so you can understand how this pay plan works. Your first sale, you make $500. Your sponsor makes $500. And above that makes $1,000. Every $3,000 sale, $2,000 is paid out. Blink your hand if you're with me so far. I want to be as crystal clear on this as I can. Every $3,000 sale, $2,000 is paid out. Blink your hand with me. I want to be as clear as possible. If there's any confusion, let me know. Okay, here's what happens. Now, remember, from here on out, the next sale, you're making a K. I'm just going to call that a K. The next sale, you make a K. You make a K every time. So here we go. You make a sale, you make a K. Your upline, they make a K. K. And now this is when you start sharing. This is basically what we call the match in GRN. So what's really cool is Mr. Adam Holland, who's on this line, I think he's at 9 now. Don't quote me. Maybe I'm off. I don't know. I think it's 8 or 9. But in the last couple weeks, Adam has done 8 or 9 of these Ks. So he makes $1,000. And then me, thank you, Adam. I was just telling my wife. My wife, Adam, just asked me, how's Adam doing lately? I said, well, he's pretty good. Like, he pretty much paid for our flights home this week because we're flying back to North Dakota. I'm like, you should really like him because like he's taking care of groceries for us for like the next year. It was really funny. But anyway, this is the beautiful thing of the pay plan, and this is the missing link in a high ticket item. Most of the time in high ticket, you sell it, you make all of it, your sponsor doesn't make anything, so there's no real incentive for duplication because there's just not enough profit to validate the time spent to really assist somebody to make a lot of sales. But here's where the pay plan gets really interesting. Okay, blink your hand if everybody's with me so far. 500 the first, and then 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Blink your hand if you're with me. You get it, you get it, you get it. Okay, I get it. Awesome. Okay, so far so good. Here's the thing. The first person on, this is what we call your level 1. The first person who joins you who makes a sale, that is your qualifying sale. Okay? Here's what happens. You'd make no money on a qualifying sale. You don't make anything on this first sale, and here's how the money flows. Because they make 500 on their first sale, they made a little 500 here, it skips you because you don't make money on a qualifying sale, which means the first person to qualify the next level. 500 goes up over here to John because 2,000 is paid out of every 3,000. But then up here, Susie Q, she's getting $1,000, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 levels deep. And don't you dare think this doesn't happen. I'm not going to say it's going to happen for you because I can't promise. It's illegal for me to say that. I'm just saying I know a lot of people, and my inbox is living proof, and we've talked with a lot of people, and it's amazing when $1,000 shows up and you have no idea where it came from. This is how it comes. So that's how money flows all the way up. Now, here's what happens. Every time this guy makes a sale, the match doesn't go to you. The match with this person is with the next qualified. So maybe the sponsor, John, he matches. But here's the cool thing. Every other person you've ever brought in before or after this person, every single time this person makes a sale, what happens? There's 1,000, the first sale again, 500 here, 500 here, 1,000 up here. But after that first sale, it's 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000 for them, 1,000 for you, 1,000 for them, 1,000 for you. Just on into infinity. And that's the beautiful thing of this pay plan. That's why if you really devote yourself to leadership, if you devote yourself to solving problems, if you devote yourself to figuring out how to sell with passion and how to market with ingenuity, this pay plan can reward you for a long time. And it can do marvelous, marvelous, beautiful, wonderful things. So, questions about the pay plan right now? Questions about the pay plan in particular? Okay. So let's see, more timeshare, $53,000 for a timeshare. Oh my gosh, can you believe that? So here's the thing. The question, though, I don't want to avoid the question and talk ourselves out of a sale. How you get signed up is whoever invited you here. You get back with them, like I would say, this is what I've come to conclude, and this is a little passionate, but just work with me here. It seems like all the time, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's, I was just getting my haircut, and the ladies next to me were just in total haircut mode, Gabby, and she was talking about how one of her suppliers was caught in a storm, and so business was slowed. And then I was talking the other day with another teammate, and their kid is kind of sick. Okay, the kid is sick, so business gets slowed. Okay, and then guess what's going to happen? Well, we're entertaining for the holidays, so things get slow. Well, you know what? We're just going to put together some more money. We're going to kind of wait on things so things get slow. Here's how I've achieved at the pace I have achieved. I have not given myself the luxury to give myself the pain of living that way in slow. I've just learned to continually crank it up and to find every reason to be successful. For instance, right now, if you're in GRN, best possible thing you can do is start your Christmas sale. And here's your Christmas sale. You whip up some bonuses. You say, you know what, you've got to position yourself so when January hits, you're ready to cash in on the wave of people. And guess what the wave of people in January are doing? They want to change that life. Every time Christmas comes around, there's about a 2-week kind of awkward, melancholy, happiness / depression that enters and dawns on 95% of people's lives, that they're not where they want to be, they're not who they want to be, they're not in the position they want to be, they're poorer than they want to be, they're less happy than they want to be, they're more constricted than they want to be. And so New Year's resolution boosts off and they get these great ideas for entrepreneurship. You want to be positioned to catch these people when they're at that point in the game. So right now is the perfect time to get in. It's the perfect time to get in. And guess what? in January, if you come to one of my webinars, guess what I'm going to be saying? It's the new year, baby. It's the perfect time to come in. And guess what happens when February starts rolling around? Guess what time it is, everybody? Can you guess? Shoot me a guess at what I'm going to say, what time it is. And I have total integrity when I say in February, the perfect time to join is right now because taxes are coming. People are getting their taxes back in March and April, and it's a cash cow. It's the perfect time to join in February. And guess what I'm going to say in April? Guess what I'm going to say? You're going to have all summer. A lot of people are chilling out. The competition starts chilling out in summer. They're going on trips. They're doing this. They're doing that. It's the perfect time to come in and take off. And so by the time the fall comes, because the fall is hot, the fall is boom time, you'll be positioned and ready to start making money. You'll be ahead of the game. And this is how you get people to join with a sense of urgency. And it's not even lying. It's not lying. It's a matter of attitude and it's a matter of decision. Okay, I'm on a bit of a rampage here, but I got to preach this because here's what the person that's when Christmas comes around and they're still depressed and it's a sad time for them. Here's what happens. The reason they don't join in November, December, well, it's because of the holidays, right? It's because of the holidays. Reason they don't join in January, well, they're going to wait for their tax return in March. Reason they don't join in March, well, you know what happened? That tax return came, the hot water heater went out, and now they don't join there. You know why they're not joining in May? Well, kids are having graduation parties, and my auntie's graduate, or my cousin's graduating from college, so we got to go to the college thing. And the reason they don't join all summer is because there's vacations going on. And then the fall, guess what happens? Kids are back in school. They're too busy. This is the story of their life. It's the story of their life, and it's okay for people that are okay with that story. But if you're on this webinar, you're looking to make money at home, you want to change, you have entrepreneurial drives, you have dreams that you can't seem to press out. There are voices in your head you can't seem to stop. For you, it's not okay. That story is not okay. It's not going to work out. My barber today, she actually told me, she said, when I was in World Ventures doing the MLM thing, I was becoming somebody I didn't like becoming. I was hounding friends and family, and it was changing me. I didn't like it. I decided I'd much rather go from 8 to 5 at a job, watch TV, and spend time with my kids in the evening, and that's who I am. And I said, good for you. That's exactly who she is. There's no moral judgment from me to her. I think it's perfect. She figured out who she was. But the entrepreneur can't do that. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Blink your hand if you get what I'm saying. The entrepreneur cannot silence the chatter, the mind chatter that says go and become and do and sell and move and inspire. It can't stop. And here's the thing, as a marketer, if you don't get your message in front of people with a good opportunity, they're going to go because that chatter is going to eventually lead them to buy something. They're going to get scammed or burned, or they're going to join with some other outfit that is vastly inferior, a product that cannot carry a even candle to GRN. GRN has total mass scalability. 9 out of 10 people, if you ask them, if you could do anything right now and money wasn't an option and time wasn't an option, what would you do? 9 out of 10, travel. 9 out of 10. We have a massive market. It's a romance market. It's a fun market. It's a memory market. There's just nothing else. There's a reason I've devoted a enormous chunk of my energies to this company and not to my information business and not to other opportunities that are in my life, because this is a huge score. So here's the thing. Anybody who, and again, I'm not going to call you out unless you want me to call you out. I don't want to pressure you or whatever. But again, at the same time, if you're feeling it, I don't want to, not seize the opportunity for you. Anybody who's on this call who feels like they're ready to get rolling and maybe has a final question for me, you can blink your hand. I will unmute the call, or just you can fire it to me or say, yes, I'm ready, but I have a final question. Anybody? Anybody? You're doing me good, Lawrence. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, exactly. Somebody's already regretting that. Okay, so we've got, and now are you, Angelica, are you in already or are you not in? Shoot me that real quick. Okay, so Angelica looks like she's ready to roll. That's awesome. Do you get any help setting up websites? Depends on who you invited you to this, Shirley. Who invited you here, by the way? Mark, you're ready. Um, I don't know how to pronounce your name, starting with a G, but she's ready. Gosh, we got like 5 people who are ready to roll here. Here's what I'm going to do. And then there's one guy who bought my $40 product who wants a refund. You call me too, Marco. No worries. I'll get you a refund on that $40 product. That's cool. And okay, but the other ones of you who are ready to talk to me, here's what I'm going to do. You can call me. I'm going to be available for about 30 minutes. Now, if you're a guest, you can still call me. The point, just is, if you're a sponsor, invited people here, I'm going to find out who did the invite. So you're just going to have to trust me on this one. I would never deliberately take anybody's sale, and most of you know that. But anyway, I'm going to be available. This is only for people, and for the next hour I'll be making callbacks probably. I'm not going to be able to spend 30 minutes with each of you, but there's at least 5 people who said they're ready to go. I'm going to avail myself personally to you at this number for the next, I would call right away, leave a message. I'll get back to you within an hour maximum. But the question I'm going to ask you first is, who invited you here? Because if you join, you're going to join with whoever that was. So if you're a sponsor, take comfort in that. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to answer your questions. And some of the questions I might have to refer you back to that sponsor because there's certain bonuses and leverage that other sponsors give that there's uniqueness with each sponsor. So I'm going to maybe refer you back to that person. But I'll be able to answer your questions the best I can. I'm going to be at this number. Feel free to call me, 443-803-4173. 443-803-4173. The phone is blinking. That's what I love to see. Keep them coming. Leave a message. I will get back to you within, like I said, within an hour. And have a great weekend. Thanks. Okay, gang, I'm out of here. Just I'll get back to you. Like I said, I'm missing phone calls right now, but just keep calling me. Leave a message. I'll get back to you here within the next 1 hour max. Okay, God bless everybody. Have a great weekend. Peace.